All right. Just give me a second here, folks, as I organize my stuff. I had scheduled this for 4:50, but I think I can take care of it now. Let me get set up here. Okay, so I had done a video on using Vue.js with the ArcGIS API for JavaScript not too long ago. Pretty cool, just pretty straightforward on how to use it. You see here I'm using ArcGIS Core. It's got calcite components in here, which I don't need it anymore because 420 includes calcite components. So I think technically I can remove this, I think. Let me double check. When I was testing it, I needed it, but I don't think I need it anymore because calcite components is a dependency of the JavaScript API. So yeah, technically I can just remove this now and still be good. Just need ArcGIS Core, Vue, and I'm good to go. Right, so here's my app. Some of this code for 420, the final 420 did change a little bit. There's this commit assets path code that you want to run so that it'll update the assets path for the stuff that calcite imports and whatnot and stuff. But that wasn't the question I got. That's not pertaining to what I want to talk about today. I just giving you a little update on what's different now from when I initially did that video, right? Some things have changed a bit. And I'll have this source code up on GitHub and everything. You'll be able to check it out, right? What I do want to talk about is the question I got. So the question I got was, how do I have another view component that, say, for example, is going to have the print widget in it, and how do I use that inside of my view application? So it's not part of the web map. It's a separate part of the app, maybe in a sidebar or something like that. And this goes for just about any widget. So how do you handle that, right? If you've tried using Vue with JavaScript API, there is one drawback to using Vue, and that is that you can't use our accessor-based classes with the Vue's built-in state, right? So you can't pass a map or a view down as a prop to a child component, and that's because Vue.js uses JavaScript proxies. It wraps all the objects in a proxy, and to be able to watch for changes and stuff, and it updates its state between the components and everything. For now, our accessor-based classes have a conflict with proxies. They don't quite work 100% altogether, so you'll get some weird errors and stuff if you try. We do have it on our roadmap to fix that in the future. It's not exactly a priority for us at the moment, but it is something that we do want to work just out of the box. That doesn't mean you can't do some stuff though, right? And this kind of falls in line with what I like to do anyway with my components. I don't really like passing JavaScript API classes and objects down in components, not necessarily. It's just not something I've ever been comfortable with, not just for Vue, but for React or anything else I use. I'm not really a big fan of doing that, but that's just me. That's my personal opinion. I'm not saying that you have to do that as well or follow whatever I say, but let me give you a solution to what you can do, right? So I like to manage all of my JavaScript API stuff inside of a separate module, and I usually use the data map.js module to handle all this stuff, right? I have initialize it's in here. It's going to take care of things for me and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and bring in the print widget in here just to get this set up, right? So I'm going to import the print widget from ArcGIS Core widgets, if I could ever spell correctly. One of these videos I am going to get by without typing something wrong at some point. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to have a function similar to this initialize. So this initialize is going to provide a container for where the view is going to be shown, right? The map gets created and everything else does its own thing. Now the widget doesn't necessarily need to be part of the view because you're going to put into a view component and then place that view component wherever you want it to go. So it's not dependent on the map view. Now this could be used for something like, say, feature table. Maybe you're not going to use the map at all in your application, but you want to load a web map, load some layers, and then dump those layers into a few feature tables, and then show those feature tables in your application. Same kind of concept you want to do here, right? So let's go ahead and export. I'm going to call this initialize print. And this initialize print is going to do just like we did here. It's going to take a container. And a container is going to be the same thing that it does for, oops. It's going to do the same thing that it does in initialize, right? It's going to go ahead and take, and do that right, did I? No. It's going to take an element, in this particular case, it'll be the view element, and use it to place the print widget on. So we can just go ahead and say const print is equal to new print. And now the print widget does want to have a view. So we're going to pass the container, and we're also going to pass the view. We already have a view inside of this map module that we're using. Now I could, if I wanted to, create like a little object up here. Let's just do it down, maybe over here somewhere. And I won't do it here, but I could have this small object called app, and it's just going to be an object here. And this app is going to have my map, my view, and maybe whatever else I want there. And I can pass this little app object around to do stuff. I'm not necessarily going to do that in here, though. I don't really think I need it for what I'm doing here. And then just because I can, I'll return the print widget from this function, because maybe I'll want it to get used for some reason. I can watch for property changes, type of things inside of my view component. So now I need a view component very similar to the web map view over here. So second here. So here we're gonna call it new file. We'll call it print.view. Why is my map showing up over here? That shouldn't have changed anything. Did that break something? Hold on. App.js. Print. Widgets print. Print from ArcGIS cores. Where's it? Print. Let's see here. What did I do wrong? I did something wrong. Because I don't think this should have jacked up anything on the map. Oh, okay, let's try this again. Container is defined but never used. Oh, I didn't. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Yeah, so I didn't like that. Let me double check over here. Make sure I'm doing this right. I spell print right? ArcGIS core widgets print, right? Yeah. Kind of, I feel like I want to do this to everything, but I'm not that anal about my formatting there. Okay, let's try this again. You know, let's just do it as a function. It's fine like this, I hope. Yeah, it's fine. I was doing something funny there that was weird. Let's just do it as a function, because it should be anyway. It doesn't need to be a const whatever fancy fat arrow function. This works. I trust it. Okay, so my print view. Here's where we were. Here's where we were with the print view. Okay, so the print view, I'm gonna have my template, right? And I'm gonna have my also the template can just be a div. And do a closing div. And this div is going to have a class equal to print div. Okay. Then I need to have my script tag, of course. Script. No. Is that what I want? No, I'll change that in a second here. And I have my style too. I apparently have a something installed. I think I've got the view extension installed for VS Code, and it's doing all this cool stuff for me, which is cool, but it's just not. Yeah, and I don't need this right now. I don't use define component and stuff. I guess I could, but using the composition API, not my style, dog. Let's just do a straight up export default object, right? I'm not getting fancy here. Name is going to be print, and I use an async mounted, right? So we're going to follow the same pattern that we used for the web map, where basically in the mounted, we're going to go ahead and ask for the helper method. So we're going to do const app is going to be equal to await dynamic import, and we're going to dynamically import. I'm sorry, there's stuff on my keyboard here. Weird. Data / map. Okay. And now we're just going to go ahead and do app.initialize print with this dot, and it's going to be the element. So that is this element here that's being generated inside the template. That's what this dot $el represents. You may not even need the $sign anymore. Let's have it. I should double check to see if view even needs it anymore, but I'll still use it because you know what, that's my style. Let's do lang, because everything else in this application is using Sass. We'll do that here as CSS. Yeah, I did that right. Let's do a dot print div thing here. Class name, and I just happen to have some stuff already defined because I'm a lazy copy paster. Not afraid to admit it. You know you are too. Don't lie to me. If you could copy paste everything you do, you would. So I'm gonna have position absolute. I'll have it positioned to the right. Z index 999. Of course, who doesn't love a good Z index, right? Give it a width and a height. All right. Okay. So now I just need to actually add this to our app. So let me just gonna. I guess it's not going to update because I'm not using this print component just yet, right? So, okay, so let's come to the app view over here, and we're going to go ahead and import that here. So let's import print from components print dot view. Okay, components here print. Do I need anything else here? I don't think so. Once I do this, I should just be able to add this print component right here. Cross your fingers, this is going to work. I got full faith. There seems to have been an error. Not sure why. That's okay. You know why that's okay? Oh, I know why that's okay. Okay, so remember in the app, we had all the Sass in here. Was it in the app or the web map? Yeah, we had all this dumb Sass in here. So I think I need to do this. Not dumb Sass. But I had to go ahead and turn off the Sass for print, so it's not included. I was really trying to optimize this app for production type stuff, you know. I'll add that here. There we go. Bam. Now it's working. All the CSS and everything is working there. It probably has some stuff that checks for the sizing of everything and all the... Make sure everything's formatted correctly, and some CSS wasn't being loaded for it. It errored out. Okay, so now I can go ahead and print this if I needed to. I won't do it right now. But like I said, this is giving you an idea that it's not part of the map view. It's actually just kind of sitting on its own thing here. And I can prove that by changing the top position. Let's say, I don't know, how big is this header up here? I didn't even double check. I should probably go to the app view, and I made the header... I didn't give the header a height. So let's just do this bit here. You know the way you do it. You know you do this all the time. So 57, right? So let's come over here and say that we'll say position from top is I have to type pixels, right? Like so. Yeah, like that. Bam, bam, and there we go. It's just below the header now. So I can position this wherever I want to, put it into a side panel or whatever I need to do. Now, the actual interaction between the component, the web map, and the print widget is done via this data map module, which already has this is where all the JavaScript API stuff is being initiated. I manage JavaScript API state. So all the ArcGIS state is done in here, not inside of the components themselves. And that's really just because I can mention the proxy classes, or the proxies that Vue uses to wrap all the state objects, stuff like that, don't work very well with our accessor classes that we use in the JavaScript API, right? But besides that, I normally wouldn't pass like a map or a view down in props or anything like that. This is kind of a good case to pass the view down, but again, I kind of like to manage all of my ArcGIS state in its own kind of encapsulated piece. And I mentioned this before. The reason I do that is because I can keep all of the ArcGIS specific stuff inside this one file. But then when I come later on, maybe I want to write some unit tests, which I should be doing, and write a unit test for like this web map component and the print component and stuff. Maybe I have some more interaction. I add some more buttons to do something that talk to the print widget. I can pretty much keep all of it isolated to just the view. There should be no other business logic type of stuff happening inside the components. And that's just my opinion. I mean, you do what you need to do, right? But if you want to do something like this currently today with the ArcGIS API for JavaScript and Vue.js, this is the pattern I suggest that you use, and it'll work, and you can avoid any kind of weird state issues with the proxy and access class and stuff. So if you have any more questions, feel free to let me know. You can always reach me on Twitter at Odonet on Twitter. It's probably the easiest way to find me. Drop a comment on the video. And again, don't forget to add your comment, like, and subscribe.